Tonight, more reaction from the family of American-Israeli Keith Siegel.
Keith Siegel.
The 64-year-old appearing in an undated Hamas hostage video. Its second in just 1 week. His niece with this message for Hamas, Israel and the Biden administration.
I have faith that we can do a deal now, but I also think that if that isn't possible, then the Biden administration should think about what they can do directly to bring our American citizens home.
But there are more signs of an impending Israeli attack on Rafah in Gaza, now home to 1.2 million. After a phone call between President Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, the White House saying Biden reiterated his clear position on Rafah, while Netanyahu's office insisting preparations continue. At a meeting of the World Economic Forum in the Saudi capital today, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas warning it will be the greatest catastrophe in the history of the Palestinian people. Tonight, Secretary Blinken heading for talks in Saudi Arabia before he goes to Israel. Hamas officials will be in Cairo tomorrow to study an Israeli proposal, but Egypt's foreign minister telling CNBC's Dan Murphy today a deal remains difficult and multidimensional.
The number of hostages, the positioning of Israeli troops, the duration of a ceasefire, the return of civilians to their original place of residence.
Alongside Secretary Blinken, top Arab officials and foreign ministers from France, Germany and the UK will be here in Saudi Arabia tomorrow. The pressure on Israel and Hamas to agree a deal mounting, the clock ticking. Hallie?
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.